All right, my peoply duty folks, duty. The first order of business is to get this thing back together enough so I can check cylinder 2. So I'm going to be strapping the alternator and whatever have yous on here so I can get the serpentine belt on there. Not even really going to worry about the coolant or anything like that, just enough so I can turn it over and fill the cylinder with compression. Let's get to it. Alright, I think I got just enough on there to be able to do my test. Obviously the radiator hose is not hooked up to the radiator, and there's not even a bottom radiator hose in there. Spark plugs are not in just yet, and I have to put the compression gauge right here. So, no air hat, no intake. Oh, I should probably remove the fuel pump relay, even though we're going to be, throttle wide open. But, just in case. All right, gauge is hooked up, and we get to see what kind of light show the dash is going to show when I put the key in the ignition. Now, we'll know, stay right there, camera. We'll know right away if this thing actually has compression. What we're looking for is some very distinct, like, whum, whum, whum. If it sounds like a power drill, we are absolutely shit out of luck. So let's hope it actually makes compression noises. All right, throttle wide open. Let's go ahead and try and crank it over. Hopefully this thing doesn't explode on me. Well, that's not good. So a little bit of compression is better than none. I'm going to drop a little bit of oil in the cylinder and see if, well, we're doing a wet test, so I'm betting that the compression goes up on it and it's piston rings. All right, wet test, here we go. All right, that actually sounded better, so of course, that probably means, yeah, I mean, it's not great, but it's better. So there's a good chance our piston rings are shot. Cool. Whoops, I realize you guys probably didn't get a chance to see the gauge because at this point, it makes some compression. It's going to misfire probably here and there. It's not great. Am I willing to limp by on it? Fuck it, let's see what happens. It's a huge pain in the ass when you get on a roll and then you're way too shaky to continue working because all you've got in your system is coffee. So I guess that's lunch. Here's a familiar scene. Everything's put together, and we're filling it up with coolant and hoping it doesn't leak. Yeah, well, here we go. Well, you continue to try and drink. How much does it take? It's like a little over 3 gallons, I know that. Capacities, cooling system. 14.3 quarts. Thanks, that's helpful. 4 quarts in a gallon. 4, 8, 12. 2 left over. 3 gallons with 2 quarts left over. 3.5, yeah. Well, guess that brings us to trying to cycle it, which means it has to turn on. We've hit that point again. Here we go. I always get really freaking nervous about this. Make sure this doesn't splash everywhere. Just like that. Battery's hooked up. Everything's hooked up. I am shaking like a monster. Fingers crossed. All right, here we go. Let's give it a shot. See what happens. That was an interesting sound. What the hell was that? Well, that was panic. All kinds of panic. Look, you might notice there's water, and the air intake is not so much an air intake anymore. I was attempting to use starter fluid, and it blew up, caught fire, and panic set in. So I am now shaking like a motherfucker. There's smoke in the garage, and the smoke alarm is now deactivated. I mean, I guess the good news is I was going to put a different intake on there anyways, so cool. Next hypothesis is that I'm an idiot, which we've established by this point, and I put the distributor at top dead center on the exhaust stroke and not the compression stroke. So I'm going to double check that and scratch that off the list, I hope. Nope, I definitely set the time into the exhaust stroke. So we're 180 degrees out. I think I got everything squared away with the distributor. So either that or I really screwed up something with the timing chain. Let's give it a shot. Hopefully it doesn't catch on fire again. Come on, baby, you can do it. Come on. Well, we're a lot farther along than we were. Come on, you can do it. A lot of smoke coming from the engine bay, which is really making me question things. And then there was a lot of white smoke coming out of the tailpipe. Well, let's look through some engine codes. Loss of cam or crank. Okay, I just replaced that sensor. What's the next one? Camshaft position sensor circuit. I literally just replaced that, guys. Come on. Throw me a frickin' bone here. I had to swap out a camshaft position sensor again, but started right up the second time. So I guess I can fix this truck. Now it's a matter of, can I get it road ready? Well, it runs. Woo! Woo! But the uphill struggle continues. I realize what would have taken some people 2 days, maybe a week, took me a literal half fucking year. 6 months. But it goes. But yeah, like I was saying, the next uphill struggle is now here. Got to go ahead and put an actual air intake on there since the other one exploded. Work on the brakes. Definitely needs a new windshield. I don't know if you ever noticed that in the other videos. It's got a big old straight across it. Needs a headliner. Not a huge priority, but kind of like a headliner in there. And then just go from there. So top of the bucket list here. Air intake, brakes, oh, hood. Got to kind of put a hood back on there if I want it out on the road. I would like to paint the hood, but again, that's a back burner ticket item. So yeah, we're having pizza tonight, baby. Woo!